You're me, Louie T. Welcome to the continued wall-to-wall coverage of the 2019 National Football League postseason. We're now in the divisional round, and there were some riveting wild card weekend matchups, but I think the divisional round has a chance to be exponentially better. All four of these matchups have a chance to be fantastic, and I think the first game of the weekend will set the tone, and I think this might be the most riveting and intriguing matchup of the four in the divisional round. In the Indianapolis Colts, the 6-seeded Colts, who went on the road and took care of a little bit of family business over the Houston Texans in wild card weekend, are taking on the number 1 seeded Kansas City Chiefs in what should be a grand football game. Now, the Chiefs are 0-4 in the postseason all-time versus these Indianapolis Colts, and there were some really memorable games between the two. None probably more memorable and in the thoughts of most of us than the one that took place about 3 or 4 years ago with Andrew Luck bringing back the Colts down 38-10 at home and ultimately winning that football game 48-45, something like that, 48-47, something along those lines. It was an epic comeback by the Colts. It was an epic fail by the Chiefs. They've seen their fair share of losses. They haven't won a home playoff game since like 1993 or 1 or something like that. It's been some crazy number of losses in a row at Arrowhead. That has to come to an end at some point, you would think. And now, for the first time in these matchups between the Chiefs and the Colts, some think that the Chiefs rather, finally have the better of the quarterbacks in this matchup. For years, Peyton Manning tormented these Chiefs, and then it was Andrew Luck. But for the first time in these matchups, maybe it is true that the Chiefs have the better of the two quarterbacks. I'm not going out on a limb and making that assertion and declaration quite yet. Mahomes, really his first year as a starter. The only thing I'm crowning him as is MVP, not giving him the nod over Andrew Luck quite yet. But I can tell you this much, it is a debate worth having, and I think the Chiefs have a shot to win this football game. But a lot of people are drinking the Colts Kool-Aid right now, and they not only feel like the Colts can go into Arrowhead and win, but they also think the Colts have enough juice to get all the way to the Super Bowl and potentially win it. Let's get to the keys to victory for both teams in this football game, and we start with the road team in the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see what the Colts have to do to come away with a victory. So you start with the Colts in this football game, and you look at the first thing they need to do, and to me, they need to win the line of scrimmage. I talked about last week how much success the Colts have had when their running back is able to go over 100 yards. Marlon Mack was able to complete the feat again last week in another Colt victory. They're undefeated when Marlon Mack eclipses the century mark. If they can control the line of scrimmage against a very shoddy and porous Chiefs defense, they should be able to not only run the football effectively, but also protect Andrew Luck just like they did a week ago. Give him time to survey the field, drive it down the field, and have opportunities to put points up in bunches versus a very, very suspect Chiefs defense. But also, not only win the line of scrimmage on the offensive side, win it on the defensive side too, because this is a Chiefs football team that they can score it big time, and we know that they can put up points in bunches. And I think this is going to be a game that sets the tone for the weekend in terms of points being scored. Last week, the highest point total in all of the games was 24. In a season where points were being scored in record fashion, to only have 24 be the high mark for the teams in the wild card weekend. 8 teams, 24 points was the highest scored by the Cowboys in their 24-22 victory over the Seahawks, is mind-boggling. That's going to end with all the big-time offensive juggernauts now entering the tournament. You're going to see some points scored this week, and if you're the Indianapolis Colts, Patrick Mahomes can't be getting out of the pocket, making a bunch of plays, and scoring a bunch of points. You've got to win the line of scrimmage on that side of the football as well. Moving to the next key, Mack attack. It's a Mack attack. I just talked about winning the line of scrimmage, and you need to do so. And I think a real big key to this game and really to the Colts' success is having Marlon Mack do what he did last week, which was dominate the football game. And up front, those nasty offensive linemen were moving bodies against their will, whether it was Quentin Nelson or it was Braden Smith or it was Anthony Costanzo. They were moving guys against their will. They were making things happen along the offensive line. Ryan Kelly and company did their part to help this rushing attack of the Colts get off the ground and get going. And they're going to need to do that again against a Chiefs defense that, again, you can run the football against them. And if you're able to do that, the biggest thing that comes from that is balance. And it also helps out the Colts play action game. But more so, you're controlling the pace of the game in time of possession. One of the ways to slow down the Chiefs' offensive attack is to keep their ass on the sidelines. And the best way to do that, running the football effectively, staying ahead of down and distance, and giving you a chance to stretch the field vertically. T.Y. Hilton becomes that much more of a threat when they have to respect the run, bring an extra defender into the box. All of a sudden, T.Y. Hilton getting one-on-one coverage, potentially down the field. Maybe a safety supposed to be over the top, but he's a little bit nosy, and he's frozen by the run action. And boom, T.Y. Hilton able to use that speed to get vertical over the top, beat both of those defenders. Luck puts it on the money, as he often does. And voila, you got a big play down the field. So running the football with Marlon Mack and company is going to be huge if the Colts want to go into Arrowhead and pull the upset. You go to the next key for the Colts. Showtime's over. Showtime! It's over. If you're the Colts, so much has been made of Patrick Mahomes, and rightfully so. The guy has been ridiculous this season. He's been dynamic, and to me, he's the league's MVP. Just think about this for a second. The two highest output quarterbacks in terms of touchdowns are playing in this game. Andrew Luck threw 39 touchdown passes this season. He was second behind Mahomes, who threw 50. Think about that for a second. Luck is in second place, a full 11 touchdown passes behind Mahomes. That's how good Mahomes has been this season. He's been dynamic in the pocket, but just absolutely electric outside of it. If you're the Indianapolis Colts, your best method to would be to keep Mahomes inside the pocket. Once he gets outside the pocket, all bets are off. And with the playmakers that they have, and they're getting another one back in this game in Samuel Watkins, it becomes really dicey to be able to stick with those guys once the play breaks down and Mahomes gets outside the pocket. And we've seen this season just how accurate this guy can be when he gets outside the pocket. Sometimes he's not even looking at his target. He's throwing no-look passes. You've got to bottle up Mahomes. Showtime can't be in full effect in this game. If it is, you're in for a long afternoon, one that probably will end in a Colts loss. You have to slow down Mahomes. You may not be able to stop him totally because at this point this season, no one has been able to do so, but you can slow him down. We have seen teams do that to him this year. You have to try to at least slow down Mahomes. It cannot be showtime for Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense. You go to key number 4 for the Colts, and it is downhill and no dancing. So essentially what this one is you can't let Tyreek Hill kill you in this game. Look, if I'm the Colts, my first priority in this game is to stop Patrick Mahomes, keep him in the pocket, and try to make him uncomfortable. That's goal number 1. All right. Goal number 2, after Mahomes, and the best way to get to Mahomes and make him uncomfortable is to take away his 2 favorite targets. Don't let Tyreek Hill. And look, if the Chiefs want to go on 13-play, 84-yard drives and score touchdowns that way, so be it. All right. Don't let them score on a 2-play, 69-yard drive that was capped by a 63-yard Tyreek Hill strike. Like, don't allow that to happen to you. Don't allow Tyreek Hill to break your back. We've seen him do it time and time again. You got to stop Tyreek Hill. You got to choose your poison. You got to pick your poison. And if I'm the Colts, I won't be killed and poisoned by Hill nor by Travis Kelce. He won't be dancing on me in this football game. We've seen the McDonald's commercial. We've seen this guy dance throughout his career. He's an exceptional football player. Mahomes loves to go to Kelce, loves to go to Hill. If he wants to beat me in this game, it's going to have to be a steady diet of Chris Conley and Samuel Watkins and Demarcus Robinson and all these other guys are going to have to kill me. All right. It won't be these two guys. It won't be Hill. It won't be Kelsey. If it's Demetrius Harris, so be it. It will not be Travis Kelsey. It will not be Hill. Okay. Those guys won't kill me. If I'm the Colts, those are the two guys I'm looking to try to take away in this football game. Easier said than done. Good luck. You're going to need it, but that's going to be a key to this game. If either one of those guys gets off, you're probably going to lose this football game. If both of those guys get off, you're going to lose this football game for sure. And finally, the last key to the game, be right. All right. Look, at the end of the day, you got to make the right decisions in this game. If Frank Reich thought he pushed a lot of good buttons last week, I thought you were a little conservative in the second half. I thought you were content with your 21-0 lead going into halftime, and I thought you sat on that lead and you needed to continue to put your foot on the gas pedal. There will be none of that in this game. I can tell you that right now. 21 won't be enough to win. I assure you of this, okay? So what I'm saying when I say be right is, look, you got to know the game, and you got to know the flow of the game, and you got to know when to say when. You got to know when to be aggressive and when to push pedal to the metal, and you got to know when to pull back, when to punt. Look, I watched the Chiefs all season long, and in the games where they struggled, they didn't have great field position, and they had to drive the distance or the length of the field. You're going to have to force them to have to do that. You can't give them short fields. You can't be over-aggressive to the point where you say to yourself, first possession of the game, we've driven it to the Chiefs' 47, and it's 4th and 2. Let's go for it. Yeah, that sounds great. And you're making a statement, 4th and 2, first possession in Chiefs territory, but you're not deep in Chiefs territory. And if you don't get it, you could be setting the tempo and tone for them to go off on you. Maybe that's a situation where you say, you know what, I'd love to go for this and maybe convert. But you know what else is great? Punting the football and having Rigoberto Sanchez pin them at the 4-yard line and making them have to drive 96 yards for a touchdown. And if they do it, you tip your cap to them and say, you got us. But don't do things in this game that make it easy on the Chiefs to score 35 and beat you. If they're going to score 35, make them earn 35. Don't turn it over. Don't do a bunch of things, and don't make decisions that don't benefit your football team. Weigh the pros and cons and know that you're putting your team in the best situation to succeed. You're going to have to score touchdowns in this game. That is a fact. But sometimes maybe punting the football is the right option, pinning them and making them go the length of the football field. Whatever you do in this game, make sure you be right, all right? If you're the Colts, do not make it easy on a team that doesn't need any of your help to score 30-plus points. From there, we go to the Kansas City Chiefs and their keys to ending this dreadful home playoff losing streak. We start with their first key, force bad luck. Look, I talk about this every single outing. Andrew Luck is going to give you an opportunity to pick off at least one pass in the game. It's going to happen, all right? Last game, there was a ton of deflections. He's lucky he didn't throw 3 interceptions with all the balls that were batted in the air. The game before that, there was an awful pick he threw to Jayon Brown. The week before that, there was an awful pick he threw in the end zone versus the Giants. The week before that, I could go on and on. Every single game, Andrew Luck is going to give you at least one opportunity to pick him off. You have to take advantage. But the best way to force bad luck, and we'll come back to this one, is to do what? No miggity, 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 Mac Daddy. We're miggity, 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 Mac Daddy. No Mac Daddy in this game. Marlon Mack can't control the tempo, the pace, and allow the Colts to be balanced on offense. If Marlon Mack does what he did last week and the week before that against the Titans in the clincher to get them into the postseason, you're probably going to lose this game, all right? You have to somehow slow Marlon Mack down. All right, again, let me reiterate. The Colts are undefeated, all right, on the season. They're now 5-0, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 6 at this point, with Marlon Mack going over 100 yards rushing. Don't let Marlon Mack destroy you and break your back in this game. I know your run defense isn't the greatest. I understand that. But if you want to force bad luck, You're going to have to slow down Marlon Mack, because then Andrew Luck will feel the pressure of the game being on his shoulders and his shoulders alone, and that's when you get Andrew Luck to force the issue. That's when Andrew Luck starts to try to force the ball into tight windows. That's when you may be able to bat one into the air and pick it off. That's where he may not see a defender that can come across the screen and pick the football up. You want to force bad luck, you need to slow down Marlon Mack. You go to the next key for the Chiefs, and it is nothing easy for Easy E. Look, Eric Ebron has been truly a revelation for the Colts this season. I told you back in the offseason when the deal was consummated that was the perfect landing spot for Eric Ebron, especially if Andrew Luck was back, because Andrew Luck loves his tight ends, and Eric Ebron has benefited greatly from the connection with Andrew Luck. They're making beautiful music right now. You saw it again last week. Ebron easily could have had a second touchdown, but he got walloped. What I'm telling you is, when he's open, and he gets open very often, or when he's not even open, Andrew Luck will throw him the football, and 85% of the time, Eric Ebron's going to catch it. But that other 15%, when he doesn't, generally someone's there to hit him, dislodge the football, whatever, like we saw last week when he took a big shot in the end zone and wasn't able to come down with the football. Don't make it easy on Eric Ebron. Don't give him anything easy. Make him earn everything he gets. If you hit him upon the point of catch, you might be able to dislodge the football like last week. Make it tough on Andrew Luck to get the football to one of his favorite targets in Easy E. Don't allow Eric Ebron to do you. He's done it up big this year. That's why he's going to the Pro Bowl. That's why he's caught so many touchdown passes this year, because the guy is a good football player. Don't make it easy on Easy E in this football game. Really, the two big targets, T.Y. Hilton and Easy E. If you can take one of those guys away in this game, it will heighten your chances of winning. Preferably T.Y. Hilton, but if Easy E can get loose, he can hurt you just the same as T.Y. Hilton. You go to the next key for the Chiefs. Score a lot in this game, okay? Look, you're gonna win this game probably by scoring a bunch of points. Everything I just said about you playing defense, throw that shit out the window. Nobody believes that you're going to play good enough defense to win. You're going to have to score a bunch of points and probably win this football game. All of that stuff is nice. Force bad luck and no Mac Daddy and Easy E slowing him down. That's all great, fine, and dandy, but your defense is trash. What you're probably going to have to do to win this game is score a lot, more than the Colts do in this game. That's probably going to give you your best chance. Now, I will also say this. When I say win the line of scrimmage, and I told the Colts they need to win the line of scrimmage, your pass rush is the best thing you got smoking on your football team defensively. Everything else, look, all bets are off. Secondary stinks. Linebackers are okay. But the defensive line with Jones, Chris Jones, 55 in D Ford, and Justin Houston in 5-0, those are your best opportunities to win, and what you're going to have to do is keep them behind the sticks, and that's why slowing down Marlon Mack is going to give you a chance to win this football game, because putting the Colts in third and long and allowing your best unit to go after the quarterback is probably your best chance of having any kind of defensive success in this football game. But you got to score a lot. I said all of that to say this. Score a bunch of points. That's probably how you're going to win this football game. And finally, read between the lines. Look, we all know Andy Reid isn't the greatest postseason head coach. We've seen the struggles of Andy Reid in the postseason. This goes all the way back to his Philadelphia Eagles days. He's not the best in the postseason. He can get a little conservative in the postseason. We saw that in the loss a couple of years ago to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game where the Steelers didn't even score a touchdown, and they still lost that game. We saw it last year in a game where they were up 21-3 at halftime and lost to the Tennessee Titans. He can get a little conservative in the postseason. Andy Reid needs to be aggressive, balls to the wall in this game. That's what he's been all season long. They've scored a bunch of points. This isn't the time to try to get cute, nor to try to get conservative. You need to be the same team that got you to 13-3 and the AFC West crown. Was it 13-3 or 14-2? 13-3. Said it right. You need to be that team. And you can't make the mistakes that have cost you postseason games in the past. You're going to have to read this game correctly, make the right decisions, and you're going to have to lead your team to victory. If Andy Reid doesn't botch a call or a timeout or throwing a challenge flag when he shouldn't, if Andy Reid doesn't go for it or does go for it when he's supposed to or doesn't go for it when he should, if Andy Reid elects to kick a field goal when he should probably go for it, it could cost his team in this game. He's got to make the right decisions. We'll see if that happens in this game or not. But those are my keys to the game for these two teams. I think this is going to be a barn burner. And as I said before, I think this is going to set the tone for the weekend. Last week was a low-scoring weekend of football. Now that we've gotten all the defensive teams out of the mix, now that we've gotten some of the teams that couldn't score and that were offensively challenged out of the mix, and now we're entering in all of the explosive offensive teams, you're going to see an uptick in points this weekend. I'm looking at this game to set the tone, and I'm taking the Chiefs. I know a lot of people are drinking the Colts Kool-Aid, and that's fine. And the Colts have a great chance of winning this game. I'm not pulling the Colts card in this one. I'm taking the Chiefs. Chiefs win this game in a shootout, 35-31. I'm taking the Chiefs to do what they've done all season long, outscore the opposition en route to a victory. What's your outcome of this game? Leave it in the comment section. I'm dying to know what you think, who you have winning. Give me a score and more in the comment section of this video. I want to hear what you guys think. Remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. Join me for all of the breakdowns and previews for these games. And also make sure you join me after each of these games have met their conclusion for the overtime series. I'm your man Louie T, signing off. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and check out the Louie T Network podcast for more great content. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.